I drove my car directly into a tree. There was a tight parking space, and I thought I had a little more room than I did. I had my wheel turned all the way to the right, and I thought I would miss it, but clearly I wasn't even close to missing it. I didn't even hit the brakes. I just plowed right into it. Not to mention that I had just painted the entire car. Luckily, I did still have a few things left over from the last time I painted my car, such as a can of Rust-Oleum Cherry Gloss Red, a can of primer, painter's tape, a tube of Bondo spot and glazing putty, and that's about it. I'm using garbage bags to mask the car. But the thing is, spot and glazing Bondo is not the type of Bondo you want because it's really meant for small dings and scratches. And to be honest, this whole front bumper could already use a fresh coat of paint. But I do not have enough paint to do the entire bumper. So after thinking it over, I decided to just use whatever I have and save myself a trip to AutoZone. By the way, this is clearly not the perfect way to paint your car. Many say you shouldn't ever put Bondo on plastic, which is what this bumper cover is. And even if you did, you shouldn't use this stuff, but that does not mean it won't work. And to be honest, it's just not that serious. These bumpers are pretty cheap, and they're readily available, so to me it's worth it just to run the experiment. The Bondo product says somewhere to only use it on scratches and dents that are no more than 1/8 of an inch deep. And that is great advice that we will not be taking. Instead, we'll just use a little bit at a time and hope that can prevent it from cracking. I'm using 3M 400 grit sandpaper because, again, that's just what I had laying around. Basically, all I'm trying to do here is knock down all of the high spots and filling in the low spots with more putty. And then repeating the process over and over and over again. Every time I sand this down, it's a little bit more clear how wide this dent really is. This dent goes from the black mark on the right all the way to the black mark on the left. So it looks like I'll be working on this for a while. I'll be right back. Now it looks, well, it looks pretty jacked up if I'm being honest, but it feels pretty straight to the touch. And if you haven't noticed, most of bodywork is just sanding. This is definitely the most crucial part because if you don't do this part, the end product will look absolutely terrible no matter what else you've done. Now before you put down any primer, you'll want to mask off the area, and since I don't have much paint left in the can, and I don't want to be chasing this problem down all over the car, I'll keep the masked area pretty small. We'll have to remove this and remask everything again before we paint, but we'll get to that soon. Now when you're sanding your primer and you see Bondo starting to break through, that means it was not perfectly straight. So that's definitely one reason not to skip this part. You can technically paint directly onto Bondo, but the paint will stick to primer a lot better than it'll stick to Bondo. So I added several coats of primer just to make sure it was about as good as it could get. Each time it got a little bit better. And finally we're at where I'll be removing the plastic, and you guessed it, more sanding. Right now, all I'm really doing is sanding down the edges of this gray square of primer on my car and lightly scuffing the surrounding paint to promote adhesion. And luckily after this, no more sanding, which is good because this was getting more than a little bit repetitive. Now we're going to mask off where we'll actually be painting, and since I'm not going to be painting the whole bumper, I'll be trying a blending method. You just basically don't want there to be any hard lines. So I'll be taking the masking tape and rolling it up into little tubes, which I'll put more tape on, like so. But I'm not doing that everywhere. If there's a body line somewhere, you can often hide hard lines by placing the tape directly on said body lines. And let's hope this works. And if so, there will be a nice transition that might trick people into thinking this car isn't totally clapped out. For this next and last step before paint, we're going to wipe down the whole area with alcohol, and I don't have a low-lint towel, so I'll just be using a regular paper towel. At this point, it's like the 39th thing that was a definite no-no when it comes to automotive paint. But it's not like it was the 40th or something. It was just 39, so yeah, no big deal. And finally, we're laying down paint. And it's actually hard to even imagine this actually blending in with the rest of the car. We've made it this far, so I guess you just have to trust the process. The process that I basically just made up along the way. Either way, we're hoping for the best. And this is a pretty small area, so each coat goes on really quick. So it would be easy to want to just do a little bit more, but that's how you get drips. I ended up giving this about 3 or 4 coats. And at long last, here is the big reveal. And let me know what you think about this in the comments. I'm pretty happy with this. It's got a really good shine, and it's blended in fairly good. It might not be perfect, but there used to be a much more noticeable dent here. And I was also able to remove a couple drips from last time that I painted the car. If you enjoyed or learned anything, please like and subscribe.